Miyo wakes up in the hold of Tsuruki, who she first thought was Kyoka. He asks if she is fine, making her freak out and back away, apologizing for the disturbance. She seems to feel extremely guilty for letting herself faint in a public place. Hazuki expresses her gratitude to Tsuruki for helping her. He tells Miyo to take care of herself before leaving. But none of the three women notice him mentioning Miyo's name as if he knows her. As they walk away, Tsuruki takes a look back at Miyo from his car, talking to himself that she is special enough to be taking care of her. Kyoka enters Miyo's room in panic and worry. He is out of breath as if he ran for her. Hazuki signals him to be quiet as Miyo is sleeping. The two get into a chat in the corner of the room. He wonders why she pushed herself to the extent of collapsing. Hazuki is also surprised when Kyoka tells her he sensed supernatural abilities around Miyo, but nobody broke into the safety barrier of the house. The only problem is, being Yusuba blood, she has a high chance of supernatural abilities being applied to her from afar. Hazuki is shocked to know that Miyo belongs to the Yusuba family. Kyoka mentions that even though she does not have any supernatural abilities, it may be possible that the Yusuba blood is becoming harmful to her body. Kyoka answers Hazuki's speculations that Miyo has no idea about her mother being from Yusuba blood. She probably does not even know the big deal about it. Kyoka expresses his sadness over the fact that Miyo does not share anything with them and has been hiding stuff more than usual these days. Even though Hazuki also wants Miyo to open up, it's still a fact that she's doing all this to not have them worry about her. A civilian walking on the outskirts of the forest suddenly stops when his dog senses something and starts barking at the woods. The man tries to see what there is only to be greeted by grotesqueries. This is reported by Goto to Kyoka. It is now becoming an issue that the grotesqueries have started nearing the civilizations faster than expected. Kyoka does not intend to trust the Imperial Ministry anymore, expecting the grotesqueries to attack that area soon as well. Miyo wakes up with another shaking nightmare. She has started to worry why they won't stop, as it has started affecting her health, leading to Hazuki pausing the study sessions. Miyo feels remorseful to herself for starting to become like her old self again. Kyoka tells her on the call that he will be working overnight today too. He refuses to let her bring lunch to him, wanting her to rest. He asks if she is facing some trouble she wants to share about, but Miyo replies negatively. Kyoka then leaves to get back to his work. In the meeting, it is discussed that the advancements of grotesqueries show that they are heading towards the Imperial City, but the Imperial Ministry still seems to be frustratingly slow in responses. The team plans to launch a full-scale hunt and destroy Operation. Even though told to rest by the other two ladies, Miyo went out of her way to prepare lunch for them. The two praise her cooking skills when Hazuki mentions being horrible at cooking. She shares her experience of getting bad grades in cooking lessons in her school. This makes Yuri mention her facing troubles in marriage too. Hazuki seems to regret that part of her life. Not because she did not want to marry or the person wasn't a good man. She was married at a young age when her family received a good proposal for her. The only problem was that she failed to get along with the family of the guy. Being bad at cooking and household chores always kept her mother-in-law annoyed. Her husband was a good man who used to console her, but problems in the house cannot be contained this easily. An argument broke out between the two because of these issues, big enough to lead to a divorce. This decision of haste was regretted deeply by her later, thinking she could have worked a little harder on her weaknesses. This is why she is impressed with how Miyo wants to work on her weaknesses for betterment. Hazuki asks what Miyo wants to do with her life, but she seems not to ever have thought about herself. Miyo replies that she wants to stay here by Kyoka's side. Kyoka, on his mission to find the Yusuba family, asks his detective to find every person named Sumi. At night, Miyo brings tea and sits beside Kyoka. He apologizes for not being there for her, but she replies it is fine. She still refuses to tell him if anything is bothering her and changes the topic to how it was living with Hazuki. He tells her that they may not seem like usual siblings, but they have always been on good terms as a person. She only gets on his nerves for being different than him, but she is a very good person. Miyo wonders how it would have been if she lived a life like that. Kyoka tells her to please let out her feelings to him. If she is alone and missing him, she can mention it. Miyo finally says so, making Kyoka relieved that she at least shared something. He tells Miyo to consider his family and try to be more expressive. The next day, Miyo decides to work hard to become a better person for Kyoka when someone appears at her door. It is Tsuruki on her doorstep with the excuse of thinking Kyoka must be home today. He uses this opportunity to tell Miyo that she looks pale, and Kyoka is heartless to have her overwork herself into fainting. Miyo ends up raising her voice that she did that on her own will. He apologizes and leaves with a mention of giving her a job that only she can fill in. After the meeting in the office, Tsuruki mentions accidentally going to Kyoka's home and tries to get in his head with the same taunts he gave to Miyo. He leaves after mentioning Miyo being at a crucial point in her life, but Kyoka not being there for her. Kyoka rushes home after getting a call that the only Sumi in the city without a background is Sumi Tsuruki. He finds Miyo in the kitchen. He finally confronts her directly about not expressing herself. Neither about the nightmares, about her fainting, about her worries. She just does not talk to him. She tells him she does not want to worry him as he is already tired from work. Kyoka tells her she seems more tired and that he shouldn't have given her a chance if things were to go this way. This statement is so hurtful to Miyo that she collapses. Seeing Tsuruki's card in her pocket, he decides to take Miyo to him to find some answers. Kyoka walks carrying Miyo to the Tsuruki's residence. She wakes up and tells him she is fine and will walk on her own. The two reach the house and find a fully blossoming cherry blossom tree in midsummer. Miyo looks at it, feeling like she has seen this before. Tsuruki walks out welcoming them as if waiting for them. He welcomes them to the Yusuba house, which surprises Miyo. Tsuruki tells them his real name is Arata Yusuba, and Tsuruki is just his pseudonym. He shocks Miyo that he is her cousin. Kyoka gets back to the topic which Tsuruki already knows is about stopping Miyo's nightmares. Kyoka is partially right in his thoughts that the nightmares are connected to her affiliation with Yusuba blood. But the main reason is the awakening of Miyo's dangerous and powerful supernatural ability. This comes as a shock to both of them. Miyo tries to clarify that it must be a misunderstanding since she failed the test of spirit sighting, but turns out it's common in the Yusuba blood to not sight spirits, but that does not mean they don't have any other abilities. Yoshiro Yusuba, Miyo's grandfather, comes out ready to tell them an interesting nighttime story. The two make Miyo notice that her body feels lighter and calmer than before since she came here due to being in the presence of the Yusuba barrier. She will be fine as long as she stays here. Kyoka asks what would happen if she left the barrier. Tsuruki tells him her nightmares would be back. Yoshiro tells Kyoka that the only way to save Miyo is for him to hand Miyo to them. Kyoka and Miyo are shocked at those words. Kyoka questions their intentions with Miyo. Yoshiro tells him they also didn't expect her to have any abilities, but now that she does, she is an important person to the Yusuba family, especially with her ability being a rare kind, dream sighting. She can get into other people's dreams and manipulate them. This can cause calamities if not controlled. Kyoka once again asks the same question. What is their intention with Miyo? Yoshiro tells him that now that she has supernatural abilities, they cannot allow her to go out of the Yusuba family. Kyoka tells them it's no use trying to take her away from him. Tsuruki thinks he is some mighty being as he tells Kyoka that they are just being considerate and that they are giving him an explanation. Kyoka calls it nonsense, not ready to let Miyo stay away from her and with them. Tsuruki tries to talk down to him about not caring about Miyo, and even if he can, he has a bigger issue to deal with at the moment. The grave being opened. This would not let him have any time for her. Even if it did not hit the bullseye to corner Kyoka, Tsuruki seems to have managed to get into Miyo's head, who now thinks that staying with Kyoka in this crucial moment would tie him down. So, when she is asked what she wants, she replies she does not know. This is a blow to Kyoka. Tsuruki decides to handle this like a man and have a duel with Kyoka. Whoever wins can take Miyo. Miyo is still not listened to in this situation. On the ground outside, Kyoka takes out his sword while Tsuruki takes out his gun. But does that scare Kyoka? No. It surprises Tsuruki, but he has some teleportation-like skill to swiftly move away. He shoots Kyoka's arm, but this isn't very beneficial as Kyoka still dodges his other attacks and keeps reaching him. Tsuruki enlightens him that the Yusuba blood lacks spirit sighting because it has abilities to fight against humans and not grotesqueries. He then uses his manipulation skills to create an illusion of multiple copies of him. This doesn't faze Kyoka, who uses his thunder ability to strike at the illusions fast enough to find the real one and suffice the manipulation. Even Tsuruki finds it astonishing. Tsuruki tries again with even more copies, only to receive a huge fire explosion at all his illusion selves. He then walks to defeat the beaten-up Tsuruki, only for Miyo to come in front of him. He is suddenly shot on the hand, making him drop his sword. Kyoka is defenseless against the gun and hence loser of the duel. Miyo rushes to him, wanting to see if he is fine. He tries to reach out for Miyo, but Tsuruki seems to be sadist enough to not even let them see each other off. He teleports Kyoka out of the residence. Kyoka and Miyo lie on the ground, lost and distraught with a barrier between them. Goto is told to contact Kyoka fast, as the grotesqueries have started moving in formations, rather than alone, making the situation dangerous for them. Kyoka, on the other hand, gets a lecture from Hazuki for sulking around about losing to Miyo, rather than doing something to get her back. He tries to tell her she wasn't sure what she wanted, but Hazuki understands Miyo's nature now, and knows she said it for his better, but wants to live with Kyoka desperately. Kyoka realizes his mistake. Hazuki tells him to pull himself together, being all that Miyo has. Kyoka gets a call about the emergency, which can be called a life-and-death situation. Hazuki questions if he is choosing work over Miyo, but she smiles satisfied at his reason that Miyo would blame herself if he doesn't do his job right. The old Voldemort-like man behind the curtains, whom Tsuruki met after Tatsuishi's failure, evilly laughs that finally whoever poses a threat to them will cease to exist soon. Tsuruki worries about the Imperial City being at risk of attack, but decides to focus on what his job is. As a child, he was told by Yoshiro that he had a job that he could only fill in. We are guessing it has some link to Miyo. He enters her room, telling her Kyoka is fine after her worried questions about him. He tries to mention Kyoka's cold behavior again, but is ignored. Telling her about her strong ability, he tells her that dream sighting allows her to enter the mind of the one sleeping and manipulate or brainwash it. If she gets stronger in her skills, she will also be able to see her past, present, and future self in them. She asks why the ability didn't wake up until now. Yoshiro enters, telling her that it was sealed by her mother. He prepares to narrate the whole story to her from the start.